Can I ask you a question? I'm just wondering. I'm thinking it could just be me, but it might be somebody else. I want to know, have you ever looked up one day and you realized your entire life it changed? But nobody prepared you for this version of life that you're living in. Not the version where you're building a career, not the version where you're still raising children, not even the version where you're trying to figure out who you're going to be. The version I'm talking about, I mean this version, the version where you wake up one day and you think, who who am I? How did I get here? And if I could be honest, that is certainly a question that I've been asking myself, not because anything is wrong. I'm a woman of a certain age and I'm asking that question. It's because life has changed. And change has a way of forcing us to ask questions that we never thought we have to ask. Because here's the realization. You ready for it? I may not look like it, but I'm 53 and my children are adults. My daughter has her own life. My son is in college, finishing his second year. And for the first time in my life, I am living alone. Yep, let that sink in. For some of you, you understand exactly what I mean because there was a time when life felt busy, it felt full, it felt loud. You had schedules, you had responsibilities, people needed you, you needed people, places to be, things to do. And then one day, the house just gets quiet, the roles shift, the seasons change. And if you're left asking, who am I? When everyone doesn't need me the same way they used to, nobody prepared me. Oh my God, I'm not crying. Nobody prepared me for that question. What nobody talks about, what I've discovered is that there are certain transitions in life that nobody really talked about, at least not to me. We celebrate weddings, we celebrate babies, we celebrate graduations, we celebrate buying a new home, we celebrate promotions. But what about the transitions that don't come with a party? I'm just saying, ain't nobody threw me a party. What about the moment you realize life doesn't look the way you thought it would? What about learning to live alone? What about dating later in life? What about figuring out who you are outside of being somebody's mama, outside of ministry and serving, outside of your career, outside of everyone else's expectations? What about learning to trust yourself again? Nobody handed me a manual for that. Nobody said, here's how to navigate this season. So, the heart of this series that I'm getting ready to share over the next several weeks is why, who, who am I now? I want to share it because I know I'm not by myself, because I don't think I'm the only woman asking this question. In fact, I think there are thousands of women who are quietly asking the same question. Women who love God, and women who have been faithful, and women who have shown up for everybody else. Women who know how to carry it and get it done, and they are responsible for decades. They've been getting the thing done. And now life looks different. And they're trying to figure out what comes next. And it's not from a place of crisis, because nothing's wrong, but it is certainly a place of discovery. So here's what's coming. Over the next several weeks, we're going to have honest conversations, real talk, sis. We're going to talk about things many women feel, but rarely will they ever have the confidence or the courage to say it aloud. We're going to talk about what happens when the house gets quiet. What is it like learning to live on your own? How do you learn to trust yourself again? And oh my God, if you're a woman of a certain age, how are you dating later in life? Your finances. Many of us wish someone had taught some of this stuff to us sooner. The cost of following God, laying down your career and following your call. And ultimately, how do we build a life you're excited to wake up to? Because I get up in the morning and I do a little jig. It's not because I don't believe that the season of my life is over. I don't believe that. I'm a woman of a certain age and I've come to a part where I know that there are more chapters, but there are less years behind me than there are in front of me. And that is honest. So let me continue to be honest with you. There have been moments where I've thought, how did I get here? And it's not in a bad way. I'm just saying, I'm 53. first time living alone. I'm honestly asking the question, how did I get here? How did I become a woman in her 50s learning things I thought I would have figured out years ago? How am I still growing, still healing, still learning, still becoming? And the answer God keeps giving me is this: because you are still alive. And as long as you're alive, I said it before and I'll say it again in case you missed it, God is still writing your story, and He is certainly writing mine. So maybe you don't have all the answers right now, and maybe you're standing in a season that feels completely unfamiliar. And maybe life looks like nothing you planned, all the journals, all the calendars, all the things. But that doesn't mean you're lost. And it may simply mean you're being introduced to a version of yourself you've never met before. I don't know about you, but that excites me. Perhaps that's why this question matters. Not who was I, but who should I have been? But who am I? That's really the question. Who am I now? So, if this conversation resonated with you in any kind of way, I want you to put these 3 words in the comments. Who am I? Who am I now? Because over the next several weeks, we're going to explore that question together. And if you are looking for a place to go a little bit deeper, I want to invite you to join me and some other ladies every Monday night at 7 p.m. It's called Becoming Her Again. It's a Monday night live where we do a weekly reset. We get into the word, have encouragement, have a little bit of fun, and we walk through what I call the 4 pillars: remember, release, restore, and rise. And we're using my current book. So my first book is Hiding in Fear, where I talk about my own healing journey. And then the second one is Trauma and Pain, where I continue to talk about my story. And the most recent one that I released is called Healing and Restoration. All of them can be found on Amazon. And while I know that healing does not take place overnight, it is a journey. And I would love for you to walk it with me and some other ladies. Now, before I go, I just want you to remember this: you are not too old, you are not too late. And this season of life is something, oh my God, it is not something that you survive. It may be the very season where you discover who you are becoming. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.